Welcome back to the West Coast, everyone, for another Farming Simulator video. In today's video, we are going to hopefully finish plowing this field. I don't know if we'll finish cultivating it. And we are going to start seeding continue seeding field number 10. So I just need to set these two workers off again for the day. I have plowed some more headlands, hoping that they will avoid getting themselves stuck like they have been doing the past few episodes. We are currently on day 4 mid-spring, as you can see in the top corner there. So we'll set off our plow. It has been brought to my attention, if you remember, we are seeding field number 10 in pretty much anything else that we need to do pigs. It has been brought to my attention after watching my last video that they need some corn. So we are, normally I wouldn't lease, but it seems to be the most logical thing to do in this case. One, because we don't have enough money for a corn planter, and two, we really won't be using it that much. And looking back in hindsight, I really shouldn't have outright bought that potato planter. So we did finish seeding the potatoes off screen. We just parked it in here to be under cover for the year. Since this is an open hopper, we don't want any rust issues. So we are going to take this down to the store, this tractor, to pick up to lease the corn seeder. So we'll come out of here and close these doors, because that seeder is probably going to be the only thing stored in there. So we need to close up the doors by holding right click. Get back in our TW35. For being an older tractor, it really doesn't use that much fuel. I don't think, at least. Because like some of our other ones, really, the newer ones use about the same quantity of fuel per hour. So I'm actually really impressed by how little fuel this tractor uses. So we are going to go down to the store to lease our corn seeder, and then we will come back and seed part of field number 10 in corn. So as you can see, we are just about to the store. We just have to go through these flashing lights, turn by the Shell station, and then we will be at the shop. So I don't know which corn seeder I'm going to lease. I'm probably going to pick the cheapest one, since we really don't have that much money and we're not going to be using it much. So we'll go to sewing machines. So 3 meters. That one can plant corn, so I'm thinking we'll lease this one. It's only $5.20 an hour if, in the rare case, we go over an hour, which I don't believe we will. It will only cost us $1,144. So I will lease that, and plus we need enough money to buy the seed and stuff. So it was unknown to me at the time, or else I probably wouldn't have paid off that loan completely at once if I would have known we were going to need a corn seeder. But it's one nice thing about leasing in this game. And I think this would really be more realistic to lease in real life anyway, because we're not going to be using it much at all, so we would just be paying maintenance on it for a year without using it at all, which doesn't seem too logical to me. So we will head back to our farm. So I plowed more headlands off screen for the worker, and they're still getting themselves stuck. I'd like to know how that works. Helper G's probably going to get stuck in a minute too. I don't understand workers sometimes. Oh, Helper G managed to get himself around. So Helper G's probably the plow, because the plow seems to be the one that doesn't get stuck much at all. So we should probably change this to corn before we forget and end up planting it in sunflowers. So I should have looked while we were down there at how much a corn header was as well, because we are going to need to either lease or buy one of those for harvest. Actually, how warm does the ground need to be for corn? 50. I probably shouldn't have leased it yet. I don't even know if it's planting time for corn yet. Corn it is. Is field 15 showing is growing? Because if it is, then we can. Oh, yep, it's showing is growing, so we can go ahead and seed. I was just not sure if, since we were seeding when the ground temperature was too cold, if it would mess up and like not even grow that year or what. But it is growing, so we will be able to seed. I want to know what lower in real life, what ground temperatures that are too low do to seeds. Does it like mess it up, I wonder, or what? So we are just going to take this, drive us over to the field really fast to fix. Oh, Helper G has not completed their task. I can guarantee you that for a fact. To fix the workers, and then we'll drive back, fill up with seed, and go do some seeding. In field number 10, our little bit of everything field. So I have found out what this helper's problem is. It's that he plows or cultivates all the way up to the fence and doesn't see the fence and decides to drive right through it. So we're going to create him 1 or 2 headlands here. Just enough to where he can make himself think he needs to turn around so he doesn't keep wrecking. And that should make this problem, make it go away, I'm hoping. I should have caught on to that before I set him off for the day. So we will set him up in line and let him go off again. And then we will go get in our plow. Again, why does he think he's done? I don't get worker logic sometimes. So I have decided, even though this is a realistic series, I'm not going to run everywhere. I'm just going to tab. Because, well, if I'm in the same field, I'll run, but if I'm like far away, I'm obviously not going to walk. So tabbing, I know it's not the most realistic thing to do, but I'm also not going to take 30 minutes to run from, say, the green farm down to the blue farm where we are currently at right now. So we are going to go fill this up with seed and then go do a few rows on field number 10. And then we will seed the rest of field number 10 in wheat. And this field will get sowed in canola probably. Well, actually I don't have I think I do have a soybean planter actually. I think the direct drill is what I think they're called, will seed soybeans. So just come back over here, turn in here. I do plan on doing some hay very soon, or at least some grass, probably hay, because like I said, I think last episode, grass does rot. Oh wow, that's a small tank. That's going to be many refills. Grass does rot, apparently using seasons, and if you put hay undercover it won't rot. So just to be sure, I'm not sure if you put grass undercover if it'll rot, but just to be sure I'm going to do hay so I don't lose all that money. We might do some silage as well for when we get cows. I do plan on doing pigs, cows, for sure, and possibly sheep, all in one series. You have to tell me what you guys think of that. If you think it'll be too much work, not all at the same, like not buy them all at the same time, obviously, but do them in the same series. So like maybe this year, or while we're waiting for the harvest to grow, we will do sheep since they just require grass. And then after the harvest comes in, we'll start, say, pigs, and then we'll do cows because we will need the silage for them. But I don't know, cows require power food, and I don't quite know what that is. So I'll have to do some experimenting before I can start them. So I'm not sure how many rows we're going to do. That is 18 meters wide, I think, and I think that's going to be way too much. So I'm thinking maybe do 6 to 12 meters, which would be... No, I might just go ahead and empty out this seeder. as long as it's not too much, since we did pay to put the seed in it. And if that means we don't end a row, then we don't end a row. It won't be that big of a deal, because I don't want to put more seed in it and then return it with seed, because that would be a waste of our money. So I will go ahead and empty out this seeder, and then we will move on to our next job. So as I was just driving along here, I got to thinking, since we do have 2 Fendts, and I am still looking at getting another tractor, I think the 716 Fendt is going to be replaced by a 7800 John Deere. And if I can configure it right, the 7800 John Deere is going to become a fertilizing tractor, and then a fertilizing / front loader tractor, and then the Valtra will still remain a seeding tractor, and the John Deere is going to be a fertilizing tractor. This seeder is taking forever to empty. Since the John Deere is going to be a fertilizing, or the reason the John Deere is going to be a fertilizing tractor is because it is 2-wheel drive, and I don't really think 4-wheel drive is important in fertilizing. So the 4-wheel drives are going to be for field work, and then the 2-wheel drive will be for loader work. I didn't realize the seed would take this long to empty. We may send a worker off and go do some plowing, because our plow... Oh wait, no. That's our cultivator has thought he has finished his job yet again. And I really want to know why he thinks that, because I know for a fact that he hasn't. So we are in fact going to... Your tank is not... Apparently this one fertilizes also. So I'm thinking this is going to take a while. This is probably going to be what we do for most of the episode. I'm kind of hoping it's not, although we haven't really done much seeding, so it'd be a change of work. So I don't want to do too much of one job. That is kind of what was happening in my Northwest Texas series. Northwest Texas has been postponed indefinitely, not because I don't have episodes recorded. I do have episodes recorded, but I want to mainly focus on this map right now, because Northwest Texas has been out for a while and this one hasn't. So I want to kind of focus on this one and sort of spotlight this one, and then Northwest Texas is not over. Northwest Texas probably still has about 10 episodes left, at least. So this is just going to be taking top priorities right now. And then there's another map I'm patiently awaiting by Black Sheep Modding. It's called The Valley of the Old Farm. When that comes out, we will definitely be doing a series on that. Don't know how long it'll run, but it will be in conjunction with the West Coast and possibly Northwest Texas for a few episodes at least. I don't think I'll have 3 series going at the same time for long. I'm kind of hoping I don't. So I am going to time-lapse the rest of this, and then we will be back once this seeder is empty. So as you saw, we have went ahead and finished emptying out the seed tank on that corn seeder. We are just going back and heading back to our farm, where we have to correct some workers because both of our workers in field 14 believe that they have once again completed their work when, well, actually, helper G, thought it just said helper G was blocked. Once again, I think the cultivator believes he's finished, but I know for a fact he hasn't. So we are probably going to deal with him some more and correct him, since I really don't think we have any other jobs to do right now. We fertilized all of our other fields. I don't think we're due for a second fertilization yet. So really that only leaves finishing off field number 14 to do, which I didn't know it would be this difficult. I wish workers could work in shapes other than squares. Like, they are programmed to a square, and if the field's not a square, they go crazy and act like they can't do it, even though it's the exact same job they do in a square. For some strange reason, they think they can't maneuver their tractor around. Oh, we will probably, and we still have to finish seeding field number 10. Let's just see real quick if we're due for another fertilization yet. Yes, we are going. Oh, wait. No, we are not. That one's still nice and fertilized. 15's fertilized. 30 and 81 are all fertilized. So we are not needing to fertilize right now. Actually, when does wheat planting season end? So wheat, we have 2 more days to plant that. So I may, after I correct these workers, go and start the voucher off. Well, I want to see something real quick. I want to see if the voucher can run our cultivator. So the voucher is 145 horsepower. Oh, it won't be able to. So that one's underpowered also. So that means this tractor will have to become a cultivating tractor. And then the voucher will stay a seeding tractor. So the 716 is still going to be sold. So I may actually switch over the cultivator now, so we don't put hours on the 716, since we are going to be getting rid of it. And it is actually underpowered. I did briefly think of selling the voucher, since the voucher and the John Deere are the exact same horsepower, but I decided not to, since we have 2 fence. I'm about to just give up plowing this field, because these workers are really starting to frustrate me. They see they have work to be done and they just stop. So I think that probably is the end of plowing. We will plow this other part. Well, actually, it's not the cultivator's fault this time. He's still in there. So I was just paying him to sit there for who knows how long. Oh, I see what the plow's problem is. Although, it's not a legitimate problem. He could see that he needs to turn and come down here, but that would be the logical thing to do. That is on the 7. Yes, it is. So we are going to trade in these tractors now. Swap this. Watch, we'll just let the TW there for a while. Shut that off. Let the plow get back ahead. We are going to take this down to the shop, where we will trade it in for the John Deere and hope I get the front 3-point right. I think I know which configuration to put it in, but I'm really not sure. I think to get the front brackets, you have to put the loader brackets on it, but I could be getting that completely wrong. There's one configuration I'm 99% sure that you can get front linkage on it. So again, we have used this tractor in previous series, although I don't think we use it in Thornton Farm. I know for a fact we use it in Thornton Farm, and that series came to an end, so that didn't really get a good spotlight either. I do have a spotlight video of it on my channel, but I want to do a let's play with it and fully discover everything it has to offer. So we are just about to the shop, and while I was driving down here, my worker thought it'd be a bright idea to go ahead and plow over what had already been cultivated, so I'd go correct him yet again. So we're getting $166,800 for this, so we'll go ahead and sell it. I am also debating, while we have the money, going ahead and buying a baler, because I really don't think we need four-wheel drive for a baler either. So I think we do want a front loader attacher. And if not, we will customize it, because I'm almost positive there's one configuration you can get. So you get 145 horsepower at $40,800, so we'll purchase that. And then we will go to baling technology right there. And I am going to be buying the New Holland Big Baler 9090 for $78,000. We will go ahead and put a rear attacher on it in case I do decide to enable the TST Quadro Pack 4, which is a bale stacker. So $78,250. Still leaves us with a nice $50,000. So apparently there is no way to get a front loader on here. Or a bracket. I guess it was suitcase weights and this without the weights. So oh well. It's still a really nice mod. 7800 John Deere, made by Saltillo, and I think it was edited by Ross W. So I'll let you hear it start up. Sounds recorded from a real tractor with this same engine in it, the 7.6, or also known as the 466. So we will go ahead and take this back to the farm, and we will just go ahead and park it. Well, actually, we may go ahead and take this baler up to Mountain View Farm. Have to get used to a long nose on this one as well. So I didn't see any cars coming from that way, so we will come out. I'm probably going to just park this over at Hill Ridge for right now. Actually, no, I'll go ahead and take it up to Mountain View. We don't go there that much. The baler is going to be stored at Mountain View, and this tractor might stay at Mountain View. Actually, no, it won't stay at Mountain View because our fertilizer sprayer is down here at the Blue Farm. So it would make sense that since this is our spraying tractor, to at least pick up the fertilizer sprayer. I wish there were fertilizer trailers in this game that you could cart fertilizer or liquid fertilizer around with. Oh, the plow has not finished. That's like the 80th time he thinks he's finished his job when in reality he hasn't. So I do want to look at how much the booster tank stores, because that is probably going to go since this can't carry it, so it'd be a waste to keep that around. And then we may see there's another version of the 3-point hitch fertilizer sprayer, and actually no, I don't think we need one right now. I think the one we have is perfect. It's a 15-meter width, so any particular field doesn't take too terribly long to do, so I think we're just going to hold on to those for right now. So we have just finished delivering the baler to Mountain View Farm, and while I was up there, it was brought to my attention that we can't silage wrap square bales. So when the time comes, not right now, we are going to have to buy a round baler. So I'm thinking the square baler is going to be for straw and hay bales, and then the round bales will be turned into silage. I had thought there was a way to wrap square bales, but I looked in the shop and there wasn't. So I did see how much the booster tank holds on the fertilizer spreader, and it holds 1,000 liters. So if we were to not use it, we would have... Why am I coming this way? We would have 1,200 liters, which I think for the far fields, I think we discovered 1,200 would be fine. Because if I remember right, it wasn't until we got back to these fields here where we went below 1,200. So that shouldn't be a deal, or a big deal, I mean. So we will switch to wheat seed. I think that's wheat. I will just go ahead and check. Wheat is that one. The farm silo. That must be the storage. So, yep, we do have wheat selected. I am going to have to seed one line over. Well, actually, we should probably go check on the workers first because I think they're done yet again. So we will come correct him for the 8,000th time. Not sure what it feels like. This needs to be done soon. Well, actually, soybean season, or soybeans run until summer. So I guess in theory, for another time, we could do soybeans because they're worth a lot. So we are going to seed one pass by our corn so that the worker doesn't think he needs to run over our corn. We are going to leave a little gap in this one just because this is trailed, and I think the trailed ones are harder to correct. So we'll turn it on and lower it because I don't want to get too far over and mess up some of our corn. So once you get on a downhill, this should increase speed, I'm hoping. So I think this can go like 10 or 12 miles an hour. So this tractor runs this seeder really nice. Let's just see if the power is matched. I believe it is. 145 horsepower. Oh, that seeder's not power matched either. But it does it flawlessly, so... And I really don't even think this is a PTO seeder. I think this is an air drill, because there's no PTO going into it. So I guess it just weighs too much for a tractor this size, but I really don't know. But this tractor handles it fine. It just goes slow, but it still is able to handle it. And it's a nice setup because we now have another loader tractor, so we really don't need this for much else. Especially during planting season, we will just be planting, so we really probably won't be doing any loader work. So this tractor really does fine for what we need it to. So after I turn this seeder around, we will go correct the plow again, because there's just a message in the top corner saying he believes he has completed his task. So we will turn this around and send off a worker and probably go plow, because the worker can't. Even though that is his job that he stopped right in front of again. They really annoy me when they do that. So there really shouldn't be much plowing left anyway. I'm not even going to bother with that strip. It's again not enough to make a yield difference. So it really won't affect anything, and I am probably going to plow like this, and then if any of that gets messed up, either if the cultivator doesn't get it, the seed drill will. So I'm thinking we may actually have this field prepared in time to do wheat maybe, or canola. But if not, like I said, I have soybeans as a backup plan. So this is going to be an episode of many time lapses, so I will time lapse the plowing, and then that will probably be the last thing we have time for today, as it is 5:17. I'm not going to bother getting it all. The only thing that will frustrate me is on the map. It'll just be little parts that need plowing. So I will see you when we finish this. So, what really should have only taken a couple, or one in-game episode, or at the most 2 episodes, is now finally done. It is not the prettiest plow job, but I don't have the time to go back and get every single little area that was missed. So the plow is done for the probably next 3 years. Unless we buy more land, then we will have to plow that, obviously. So we'll just go ahead and park this in here. So you probably really won't be needing that tractor anymore either. What is it with helpers and stationary objects? That's what I want to know. So it looks like I'm going to have to make this guy a headland also. Or else... Oh, that's spinning. No traction whatsoever. 4-wheel drive for the win. 4-wheel drive just got us out of that one. It's the rear drive tire, which is spinning and spinning and spinning. I didn't think we'd be able to get out of that one. But this tractor powered through it and we were able to get out. So we'll probably go ahead and do one more headland just to give him what I think is ample room to turn around without wrecking anything. If anything, we'll give him one more, because 3 seems to be the lucky number. Seems like with 3 they can manage, unless you're a cultivator, you can manage to not wreck into anything. So that will conclude this episode. Thank you all for watching as usual. If you're enjoying this series, please comment, rate, subscribe, and like to be notified of future videos. Have a nice day, everybody.